Well, good morning, EXED 520 students. What follows is an orientation to Module 2 of 520. The first item is to read Tomlinson Chapter 5, which has got to do with classroom management routines that are conducive to effective differentiation, and these include flexible grouping strategies, which is the main topic of the module. Very informative chapter. The second items have got to do with two surveys that are in the module. The first is a learning styles survey, which captures how students best take in information. The three most traditional ways that this is presented is kinesthetic, auditory, and visual. However, this particular survey looks at some additional ways in which students might prefer to learn, learning styles. So you're expected to take that and score it, and then discuss that as a part of your discussion board post due later in the week on Sunday. There's also a survey called the My Way survey, and this survey looks at how a student prefers to express what they've learned. This is the product part of differentiation. Now, some people confuse this with learning styles, but it really is a measure of the student's interest, because it looks at how students prefer to express what they've learned, so it's indicating a preference for what they like to do. So there are a lot of different products that students might be able to use to express mastery of content, including artistic, musical, literary, various other different ways, and this survey captures that preference. So the expectation is that you'll take that and also discuss it during your discussion board post. The third item is a PowerPoint on classroom management strategies that are conducive to differentiation. It's really two parts. The first part talks about some of those strategies, including the concept of being with it, also known as having eyes behind your head, overlapping, the flow of one part of a lesson to another, occurring smoothly, and various different aspects of classroom management, such as those. The second section has got to do with cultural differences in the kinds of things that different students bring to a classroom that teachers should take into consideration when they're managing the classroom. For example, students that come from some cultural backgrounds have difficulty with the idea of time, or not difficulty, but they just look at the idea of time differently than many of us do. So taking some of these differences into consideration, having to do with cultural variables, can avoid problems when you have a student that doesn't really understand perhaps why you're stressing timeliness or some other aspect of a classroom rule or procedure that is a little alien to them because they come from a different point of view. The next item is the IRIS module. Those of you that have taken classes with me in the past know how to go through these pretty readily. There's 5 different sections in the module, and the assignment for this week is to complete the assessment section of the module. However, I encourage you to go through all of the different sections. There's a wonderful table that has a lot of links to different differentiation strategies, depending on whether or not you're differentiating based on readiness, or whether you're differentiating based on interest or learning styles as they relate to content, process, and product. And you can click on those and see examples of how one might do that. So finally, the assignment for this week, in addition to the IRIS module, is to post your discussion responses based on these questions, and these are on the discussion board. So what are some helpful classroom routines that can facilitate differentiation? What are some of Tomlinson's suggestions for grouping? Second question is, what were your results of the 2 surveys that you took, the Learning Styles and the My Way survey? And discuss what your reactions to those findings are, based on the results of your taking the survey. The third question has got to do with what are some classroom strategies that can facilitate differentiation based on this particular PowerPoint that's in the module. And then finally, add your own question or comment to the discussion, and don't forget to respond to at least one person's post, unless you're the first person to post. If you have any questions, email me, and good luck.